Hi yogis, Alex here, and thank you so much for joining me today for our class on hip flexors and hip extensors, two of the most important movements that we do with our hips every single day. Let us start on our back. Lay all the way down and make sure you have a block handy because we will be using it for today's class. Finding a neutral pelvis, go ahead and plant both feet hip distance apart. Exhale and lift the hips. Using the glutes and the hamstrings, weight is in the shoulders and the hands. Exhale, lower all the way down. Let's do it 2 more times just to awaken the back body. Lift up the hips for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower them all the way back down. Last one, lift the hips. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower back down. Draw the right knee into the chest. Give it a nice little squeeze. Hold it there as you extend the left leg long. Warming up the front of the hip, now lift the leg about 90 degrees to the sky. Exhale, lower back down. You're just going to lift and lower here 3 more times. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bend the left knee, placing the foot flat onto the floor. Keep the right knee hugged into the chest. This time you're going to lift the hips off of the mat. So now we're requiring a hip extension from the left and hip flexion from the right. Try to keep the pelvis neutral. Hold here. 3, 2, 1. Exhale and relax. So the range of motion might be smaller, and that's okay. We're going to do it 2 more times. Lift the hips. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale and relax. Last one, lift, hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale and relax. Go ahead and place the right foot onto the floor. Hug the left knee into the chest. Just be mindful of any differences between the sides. Extend the right leg long. Lift and lower. 3, 2, and 1. Bend the right knee, place the right foot flat onto the floor. Keep the left knee hugged into the chest. Try to keep the pelvis in neutral as you use the strength of the glutes and the hamstrings to lift those hips. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale and lower back down. Try to keep the left knee hugged in as much as you can. Lift the hips. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower back down. Just 1 more time. Lift and hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale and lower back down. Go ahead and release the left hip. Grab a hold of that block. You're going to pick up your hips, place the block underneath those hips. And I would like for you to go ahead and extend that right leg long. Hover it above the mat. So now we're in like a hip extension slightly, but I want you to just hold it here and feel the strength of those hip flexors holding you here for 3, 2, 1. Keep pressing the left foot into the mat as you lift the leg and lower. We're lifting the right leg and lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Once again, hover the right leg above the mat. 3, 2, and 1. Return the right foot onto the mat. Extend the left leg long and we'll hold it here. Try to keep the pelvis in neutral. The strength is coming from those hip flexors, the psoas. And then we're going to lift and lower just 5 times. Lift and lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold the left leg, hovering it above the mat again for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and replace the left foot onto the mat. Go ahead and lift those hips high. We're going to remove the block and make our way to a seated posture. So either hug the knees into the chest and rock up, or make your way back to a seated posture, however it feels appropriate for you. We're going to make our way into all fours. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then we're going to lift the right leg, 90-degree angle bend with that knee, and then lower. So we're getting hip extension again, lift. Try to keep the pelvis neutral and lower. You're using your glutes and your hamstrings, lift and lower. Let's do it 3 more times. 3, 2, and last 1. Now we're going to bring that right foot in between the hands. I like to use blocks here, so I'm going to place my hands on blocks, low, medium, or high, whatever feels best for your body. Extending the right knee, slide those hands back. Again, on the blocks, low, medium, or high. The higher the blocks, the easier it's going to be. Using the hip flexors this time, we're going to try to lift the leg and lower. Lift the leg and lower. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and last 1. Bend the front knee. Coming into a low lunge, go ahead and place one of the blocks underneath. It's kind of like a wedge underneath that left thigh. And if you want, you can place the block underneath the right hip. I have perfect proportions to be in this position with the block. I know that if you have longer shins, this block isn't going to do anything. So if it doesn't do anything for you, that's okay. But I want this bottom block to be as a support, and we're going to hold in this low lunge. Hands can be at the hips, hands can be heart center, wherever it feels most appropriate for you. Now draw those arms up and out. 90-degree angles with the elbows, so we're like having cactus arms. And I want you to soften the back of the heart, allowing the sternum to pull forward, opening the neck, opening the chest, holding here. And then we're going to release the hands. You can use one of the blocks, low, medium, or high. Place the right hand onto the block. We're going to lift the left arm up and over, maybe taking the left hand behind the head or neck and reaching with the elbow. Exhale, releasing the block to the opposite side, low, medium, or high. Left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. Bend the right elbow, placing the hand behind the head, and then reach with that elbow. Inhale, come back to center, and you can use the block if you want to place it low, medium, or high next to that right foot. And this time we're going to lower down either onto the hands or onto the forearms into kind of like a lizard pose variation. Again, you choose the height of the block which feels most appropriate for your hips today. Walk those hands all the way back up to the top. And we're going to go into the next progression, which can be a little intense. So if you choose not to do this variation, that's totally appropriate. What I would like for you to do is bend the back knee. Grab a hold of that foot or ankle, and you can either start to draw the foot towards the buttocks or just hold the stretch here. And then release the left leg. Go ahead and remove the blocks. You're going to extend the right leg once again. This time point and flex the right foot. So we're getting into the right ankle. And then just to get into the outside of the hip a little bit, either point or flex, whatever feels good, and then walk those blocks to the outside of the extended right leg. Come all the way back to center. We're going to draw that right foot back into a tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. This time I would like for you to lift the left knee. Again, coming into that 90-degree angle, nice and flexed, glutes and hamstrings engaged, lower back down. We're going to do it 5 times. So lift 5 and lower. 4 and lower. 3 and lower. 2 and lower, last 1 and lower. Bring that left foot in between the hands. Blocks low, medium, or high, whatever feels most comfortable for you. You're going to extend that left leg, sliding those hands back, and we're going to lift the left leg. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. 3 more. Lift and lower. 2 and lower. Last 1 and lower. Bend that front knee. Coming into a low lunge, feel free to add the block as a wedge underneath that right hip. Maybe the left or the other block comes underneath that left glute. And we're going to hold. Hands can come to the hips. They can reach overhead, whatever feels best. And then draw those arms up to cactus arms, bend the elbows 90 degrees, soften the back of the shoulders, and open through the chest. Exhale, release the hands. Feel free to use a block, low, medium, or high, setting it by the left hip, reaching the right arm up and over, bend the right elbow, and then reach with the elbow. Go ahead and release the right hand, bringing the block towards the right hip, right arm down, left arm reaches up and over, bending the left elbow, and then reach with the elbow. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Feel free to place that block low, medium, or high by the left foot. This time we're going to come into that lizard variation. So elbows can bend, they can come down onto the block. Maybe you just drop down onto the floor, whatever feels best for your body today. then press into those hands, press all the way back up to the top. And we're going to add that stretch, either take your own variation or skip this variation, but bend that back knee, reach back, and either start to bring the heel towards the buttocks or come to whatever variation feels best for you. And we're just gonna hold and breathe. Exhale and slowly release. Remove the blocks. We're going to extend the left leg once again and point and flex the left ankle. And then we're going to add that side stretch. So take both blocks to the outside of the extended left leg and extend through the right side of the body. Come all the way back to center. And slide that left foot back to meet the right. Let's take a couple cat-cows with or without the blocks, whatever feels good, just to release any tension from the low back. Come all the way back to neutral, and we're going to come to downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, lift the hips high, pressing back with the hands into downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and just pedal out your dog, bending the right knee and then the left, alternating each side. Inhale, bring the right foot in between the hands, and then I would like for you to shorten your stance slightly for pyramid pose, and we're gonna work into the foot, into the calf. So from here, you're gonna need 2 blocks. You're going to place one block with the short edge on the floor and your toes on top of the block to stretch the calves and the ankle. The other block is gonna make a little wedge right behind the block, so it will hold the short edge block on its edge. And then if you need to, if you can't rest your hands on the block that has your foot on it, you can use another pair of blocks or a chair even to raise up. Here, I'll use the blocks. Now from here, I would like for you to try to lift your toes off of the block as you extend through the spine. Exhale, press your toes into the block as you round the spine and try to reach the nose towards the knee. Inhale, lengthen, try to lift the toes up off of the block. Exhale, press into the hands, round the spine, and press the toes into the block. We're going to do it 3 more times. Lift and extend as you try to draw the toes away from the block. Exhale, press the toes into the block as you round through the spine. Inhale, lift the toes off of the block, extend. Exhale, press the toes into the block and round. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the toes, extend the spine. Exhale, round the spine, press the toes into the block. And then come to a neutral spine and just hang out here. So hands can be wherever they feel most comfortable. We're just stretching. If you want to bend that right knee, if that feels more appropriate so you can get into the soleus muscle, feel free to bend the knee. And then we're going to remove the foot from the block, but stay in this pyramid position. Feel free to use the hands on the blocks as you fold forward. Inhale and come up. Grab a hold of your blocks again, low, medium, or high. And I'd like for you to try to lift that right foot, that front foot, off of the mat and lower. Lift and lower. 3 more, lower. 2 more, lower. Last one, lower. Big inhale, extend through the spine. Exhale, and instead of bringing the foot to the chest, this time bring the chest to the foot. And feel how differently that feels than the first time. Hold it here. Maybe extend your hands on the blocks. And then inhale, come up. And we'll switch feet. This time the left foot's gonna come forward, the right foot's gonna step back, and we're gonna make that little pyramid. So the left toes are gonna lift, placed on top of the block. The second block is going to wedge underneath the first block. The hands can be on top of the block, or on a chair, or other blocks, whatever feels good. We'll hold here for a moment. Just be mindful of the differences between the sides. And then we'll begin that flow. So try to lift the left toes off of the left block as you extend through the spine. Exhale, press the left toes into the block as if you're like pressing down on a gas pedal, and then round through the spine. Inhale, lift the toes, extend the spine. Exhale, press the toes, round the spine. Inhale, lift the toes, extend the spine. Exhale, press the toes, round the spine. Last one. Inhale, spread the toes, extend the spine. Exhale, press the toes, round the spine. And then come to neutral. We'll just hold and breathe. Maybe you bend the knee to get into the soleus a little bit more. Maybe you extend the arms, getting a stretch through the side body. And then we'll remove the block. Exhale and fold. Inhale and come up, walk the hands back using the blocks, low, medium, or high. We're going to lift and lower that left leg for 5 times. Lift 5 and lower. Lift 4 and lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. Last one, lower. Lower the foot. Walk the hands forward and hold here once again. And then inhale and come up. Exhale, let's release the feet all the way back down to a seated posture. And that concludes our class today on hip extensors and hip flexors. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time. Namaste.